What is it?
What the fuck?
All right. That's that's the custom blender door feature. So here she is, the 300, well, it was 200 something with fees, $300 Durango. I bought this sight unseen, shitty seat, windows stuck down. I knew about the front end, but I haven't heard this thing run yet. Again, I got it for 360 bucks grand total. Honestly, my expectations have been exceeded. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab a battery. I brought a battery with me, thank God. There was no battery in it at all, and hopefully it starts right up and goes into gear, because if that's so, we're out of here. All right, so I just put a battery in. They might be loose, the terminals, I'm not sure. I didn't even tighten them, but let's see if this thing starts. It said it was a run and drive car on the auction listing. That's what I'm talking about. Where's my oil pressure? There it is. Whew. Got a little bit nervous for a second. So it runs. Hear how the engine sounds. Not bad, actually. Does the AC work? Let's see. It's got no gas in it, of course. Honestly, if the AC doesn't work, I'm just happy it started up. Let's see. I don't think the AC works. Compressor's not turning. So could just need Freon, or it could be a back compressor, but this is actually one of the easiest compressor changes in the world. It's right in the top, and thankfully it's freezing today, so that won't be an issue. So not a big deal. I'll close the hood and see how she goes into gear. Okay, moment of truth. How's the transmission? The fluid was pink and full. Brakes are good. All right, into gear. Hold on. Transmission works. Let's drive. Let's try reverse. All right, sweet. So she's a running, driving, shifting vehicle for $360, which I've done better than that many times before. But nice thing about this auction is that I don't have to waste my time driving around anymore, and etc. So we're gonna go ahead and light this baby up and get it out of here. All right, so I'm driving the Durango home now. I'm like 1/3 the way there. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous because I'm smelling coolant very strong, but the temp gauge, as you can see, is fine right now. Fortunately, it's a very cool day. It's probably 50 degrees out, which is rare for South Florida, but I'm watching it like a hawk. I don't even want to take the time, and it looks like there's like steam coming out of here or some shit. But it's not overheating. I know the gauge works because when I first started it up, it was cold, and I watched it progressively warm up. So I'm just at this point trying to get it home. It's rush hour. I don't need this thing breaking down, and you know, a tow would cost me probably close to as much as the truck. So I'd rather just get it the hell home. Observations so far: transmission shifts very well, engine runs very well, with the exception of this coolant situation. Could just be a hose that's loose. I mean, this wasn't a front end collision, a very minor one, but you never know. I didn't check the coolant level. I'm not sure why, but I didn't bring any with me, so it was kind of like an ignorance is bliss situation, although I would have stopped at the auto parts store. That was kind of stupid of me, but the engine oil and transmission fluid were fine. And steering's good, it's tight. I haven't been on the highway with it. Besides that, it feels good. Just hoping it makes it home. I put gas in it, had no gas, of course. It's got a half tank now. Radio does not work. You can see the headliner's struggling a bit up here. But the nice thing is there's a ton of these in the junkyard, these Durangos, for a very good reason. It's Chrysler junk. But this one seems all right. The miles are pretty low for the year, 156. So not a bad vehicle overall. I'm gonna change the seat. Maybe I'll change out the headliner if I wanna go that crazy. Probably not. Hopefully I can get away with pinning it up or gluing it or something. fix that window. And if I find a color matched Durango at the junkyard, I'll pull the fender and the bumper as long as I keep it under like 60 bucks. I guess maybe even go as high as 100, because then I can sell this thing as a perfect condition Durango. AC doesn't work. Whether I fix it or not, I'm not sure yet, but it does blow at least. Just the compressor's not turning, so probably has a leak, or maybe the compressor's shot. It doesn't look that bad, the compressor. So we'll see. All right, so I have no idea what just happened. I didn't record it because my battery's very low and I wanted to save it. God forbid I got stuck. I'm very close to home. Matter of fact, I'll be there in probably 1 minute, thank God. I was stopped to make a left turn out on the street, and the check gauges came on, and I looked at the temp gauge first because I smell coolant, and I go, well shit, it's not that. I look at the oil pressure gauge, and it's bottomed out. It's in the red, and I go, what the fuck? So I shut it off right away. Threw the hazards on, opened the hood, checked the oil. It's right where it was when I checked it at the auction lot. It's not full, but it's reading. I said, well, fuck, I know I have oil. Started it back up. Now the gauge is fine, and the engine sounds healthy. No ticks, no knocks. So I'm not sure what was up with that. And it's actually more of like an electrical fire smell, smoke coming out of the engine base. I don't know what's going on. Oh, here we go. Look. And it just went back. That beeping, it just said check gauges. This was at 0. By the time I flipped the camera around, it went back to being in the range. So I don't know. The good thing about this truck is I'm gonna do it for $360. I just put $20 of gas in it like an idiot. But look, it's got brand new Michelin's in the back, brand spanking new. With the just did it again. It's got enough decent parts on it I can get out of it if I had to without getting hurt or too hurt. You know, auctions are a gamble. I used to do this a long time ago, and I've been out of the auction game for a while. Just got back into it this month, and I'm used to it. I know this is how the game goes, so let's just hope for the best. I made it home, thank God. I'm gonna open this hood, shut this thing off first and foremost before any more damage is done if there is an oil pressure problem. But I think it's just a gauge because the way it bounced back so dramatically. But let me show you what I think is going on. I smelled smoke. I still smell smoke. It's not my battery. I thought maybe because these connections are loose, maybe it was sparking a bit. I haven't even checked the coolant level. I'm obviously not going to check it right now. It's too hot. I'm guessing this thing's probably bone dry. Is there a dipstick for coolant? Oh shit, it's actually got something in there. So, interestingly enough, maybe there is coolant in the radiator. The radiator is actually new. Shit, look at that. It's a brand new radiator if I've ever seen one. Or recent enough. And the hose as well, Daco hose. There's a lot of pressure in that, which isn't a good sign necessarily. I guess I'm gonna have to start going through this thing and see what I find. Okay, so I feel like an idiot, but at the same time, it's not really my fault. You remember the whole oil pressure fiasco? Well, turns out this thing was down like 3 quarts of oil. And I checked underneath, there's no major oil leak, just a common rear main seal leak with any vehicle this age. And the good thing is I shut the truck off right away when it hit 0 the first time. But I checked the dipstick, the oil was up on it, but I wiped it clean, I dug it back in. It was dry, but I figured, okay, it's probably down a quart because I'm still getting some type of read on here when it's warm. Well, I got home. I wish I recorded all this, but I didn't. The oil cap, when I already owned the vehicle when I got to the auction, so I was just doing a quick little check because no matter what, I bought it. There was no undoing it. I unscrewed the oil cap to check for sludge, and there was none. When I put it back in, I did it too tight, and it snapped when I went to take it off here. But you can undo it like this, so it still works. So anyway, I added a quart of oil thinking that's all I needed. When I got home, still came up dry, the dipstick. I dumped like half this bottle in, and finally now I'm in the safe range. But you listen to the engine, I don't hear any knocking or ticking, so I think I lucked out because when I had that low oil pressure light, I shut it off. Here, have a listen. So I don't hear any knocking or ticking. Radiator's good. Actually, if you look at it, it's new. And I checked the coolant level when I got home, it's full. So the only thing I have to figure out now I know why the low oil pressure light came on, because there was no oil pressure. Now I just have to figure out why there was smoke coming through the vents when I was driving. Maybe this battery connection was loose and it was sparking. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let this thing run for a few minutes. Hopefully I can replicate the problem. Or maybe I was thinking all these leaves are on top of the hot manifold or something down here, or even the hot engine at 200 degrees, and maybe they were burning up. I don't know, so we'll find out hopefully in a few minutes. Alright, so that's pretty much where I left off with the Durango today. I'm going to change the oil tomorrow because who knows how old the oil that was left in there really is. It's pretty much minor stuff in this truck after I figure out the coolant smell and that other smoky smell I had, or the actual visual smoke that was coming in through the vents. It's weird because I let it run for like 10 minutes out here today after I put some oil in it, and I didn't see any smoke at all. The coolant smell, I don't know if, I'm thinking maybe the line that goes from the radiator, right where the cap is on the radiator that goes to the expansion tank, maybe there's a pinhole leak in it or something, because the radiator is very full and the expansion tank is pretty much empty, so maybe it's losing it somewhere along the way. And I don't want to look into it tonight because it's about 45 degrees out here and it's windy, but I will look into it tomorrow. And once I figure out if this truck is truly healthy and ready to sell, I'll make the trip up to the junkyard, get a bumper, get a fender, these marker lights on the side here, and for the interior, change the seat, do my best to mend the headliner, and that pretty much does it. Otherwise the truck's in very good shape. Just clean it up, give it a bath. Nice thing is the paint is in excellent condition. It's all just dirt on here. This thing was sitting for some time, it seems. See, these tires in the back are brand new Michelins. And there's a spare in the hatch. There's also a third row seat. This is a 4-wheel drive Durango. I haven't tested to see if it works. Haven't quite got there yet. One thing at a time. I gotta put this weather stripping back in that's hanging there. So it's all minor stuff. Once I figure out where those two smells are coming from, the rest of this is easy. Take care of that tomorrow. Thank you for watching.